Maddie, can you say a short prayer for us, please?
My name is Otha Jones. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for waking us up this morning, putting our warm and ask you to protect us, keep us here, dear Lord. Please make sure that the pastor read the word truth and please make sure that whoever is going to be the teacher and the teacher for evening Bible study, please make sure that we learn more about Jesus. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Very good. Thank you. And how's everybody this morning? Did everybody have a good week?
Oh, yes.
The fact that you're here is a pretty good indication.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
Some of us didn't wake up this morning.
Yeah. How much time do I have? How much time do you have?
45 minutes. It's 10 o'clock. So 10:45 you should be done.
10:45, I should sit down.
I usually try to give it a little extra 5 minutes.
Okay.
So let's say 10:50 officially close.
All right. Okay. Well, I was going to ask a few side questions, but I don't want to share my time with you, so I'm not going to ask those questions. Or it takes away from my time for the lesson. Okay, what's the title of the lesson for this week?
Passover.
Passover. And what lesson is that?
Oh, it's lesson 10,
Okay. And what page is it on?
193.
All right, very good.
What?
193.
That's down here.
Very good.
You messing them up, Michelle.
Sorry.
Passover. When you say Passover, not necessarily in the lesson, but in general conversation, when you're out and about, and somebody says Passover, or you might say Passover, what does that mean? What do you think about? What comes to mind?
It's a feast day.
Say again.
A feast day.
A feast day, okay. All right.
You mean what does Passover mean in our lexicon?
In general.
Well, it
In
has
the
to be.
Bible, in a lesson, in your personal life, what is Passover? Can somebody use it in a sentence for me?
Passover the bridge.
Passover bridge, all right.
Yeah, but that's not the same.
It's not the same?
Passover, that's in the lesson, that's one word. Passover the bridge is 2 words.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. But how about definition? By definition.
Well, like what's the
If you pass over the bridge, definition.
Let's
is
go
you
over
go
Passover.
So the definition would be the same, even though we got one word and many
Yeah, I
other
got
words.
you. Yeah.
Okay. Not trying to converse with you, but I'm just trying to get an understanding myself. Okay, so Passover would be crossing a bridge to pass over what's underneath the bridge. What's underneath the bridge? Come on now, fast.
Water?
Water.
Wait, wait.
If you're on the 105 and you're going west, and you're crossing over something, you're passing over what? What are some of the streets you pass over? When you get close to
Normandy.
the airport?
When you cross over a bridge, you pass over more water here because you cross over streets, you cross over freeways, you cross over hobos and freeloaders up under them and all that.
Okay.
So you do a lot of passing
A
over.
lot of passing over. Okay, what about when you're on an aircraft and you're coming in from wherever you've been, and you're coming from the east, you're going west into the wind, coming to the landing strip at LAX, what are you passing over?
The city.
The city, houses, whatever is down there, factories, buildings, pedestrians, whatever is down there. The plane is passing over it. Okay? So the plane doesn't damage anybody below, and any of the buildings or people or obstacles below, the plane doesn't damage it because it's passing over. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
somewhat.
Pastor?
Speaking of the planes passing over, one of the most beautiful sights is flying into LA at night.
Amen.
Yeah,
I have a picture on my phone.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, for miles, it's just lights.
All right.
Los Angeles County, San Bernardino, Orange County, San Bernardino County, Kern County, not Kern County, I forgot the rest. Going east. Right? Kern County is going north.
Sister
As
Hush?
the pastor said, when I left Jamaica in 1957, and I hit, the plane was landing, it was the most beautiful sight. The lights. I was fascinated. I was like a kid, it's a toy.
I have a question for you guys. Those pylons, those tall thingamajigs out at LAX,
Thingamajig.
what are they there for? Do they do anything, or are they just scenery?
You gotta explain yourself, brother. Nobody knows what a pylon is.
Okay, it's a tall, I won't say cylinder structure, because from a distance they look like they might be square. And they're really tall, and at night they're illuminated. They're lit up at
You
night.
mean at LAX?
At LAX.
Oh.
Yeah. Does anybody know what they're for? I'd like to know.
Well, for the, I mean, I can't say for certain, but the little bit of information that I know pertaining to the airport, it would relate to, for the aircrafts, it's sort of a, I guess a pillar of communication for them in their distance, feet when it comes to landing, where they are. It pertains to all of that stuff that applies in there when they're coming in, because it's so much stuff that they have to be aware of when it comes to when to slow down, when to start coming down, what's in the surrounding area, what's coming in, and what they can get through. So all of that stuff is just related for communication with them. If they didn't have information verbally to another person, they have something on the ground to guide them. So I guess would be the simplest terms.
Sort of like, I didn't know that, but I've seen them a number of times. And on the news, when I'm watching the news, I see them in the news. But I've never heard any commentary on what do they actually do, or are they just there for decoration? But since you said that, it gives me the impression that they're there for, they do to an airplane what a lighthouse does to a boat.
Right.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you don't have any communication, you have to have something to help guide you coming in. I mean, it's not a for certain when you have someone on land, of course, that can truly see. But that gives them a guidance to the distance between where they're coming down and what they're going between.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we've got an idea of what Passover means. And I have another key word that I would like for you to remember. And that word is night. N-I-G-H-T. Night. I'd like for you to remember that word. All right. The lesson, the devotional reading is taken from Matthew chapter 26, verses 20 through 30. Background scripture is taken from Exodus chapter 12, verses 1 through 14. Numbers 28, verses 16 through 25. And Mark chapter 14, verses 12 through 26. I'll start reading, and you can read along with me. Exodus chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month Abib shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a what?
A lamb.
A lamb, according to the house of their fathers. a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Verse 5. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take up the blood, and shall strike it on the two side posts, and on the upper doorpost of the houses, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that, verse 8, and they shall eat the flesh in that
Night.
Okay. Roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Verse 9. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden. Now, somebody tell me what sodden means?
Soak.
So, water.
Or boilers, or, water in it.
Don't use no water to cook it with.
It's gotta be roasted.
It's gotta be roasted
No
over
water.
fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you
okay.
can't put no water on it.
Got it. Okay. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with his pertinence thereof. Now, somebody tell me what pertinence is.
Inside of the belly.
Say again.
Inside.
The
Inside.
whole,
Tommy tried to tell me this morning it was the boo-boo.
it's the whole 9
Nah,
yards,
it's
bro.
the intro.
It's the whole 9 yards.
What you call strike or your
The
destiny?
intro.
Intro.
Gizzard.
Everything.
The
Lemon.
organs, the
So we
organs.
eat his gizzard.
Everything.
How about his stomach?
Everything. You don't, what's all everything you don't
They don't
understand?
have
The
it.
intestine,
Yes.
the heart,
Yes.
the lungs,
Yeah.
the brain,
Yeah. The whole thing, the
the
whole
whole
thing.
thing. Brother Arthur.
Okay. Tommy messed me up this morning about Passover. Tommy told me some of the gruesomest stuff I've heard in a long time from an animal. Now listen, now correct me if I'm wrong, because I had a problem with this understanding the way they did things back then. Now, my first problem I think Tommy got me, because couldn't understand with this lamb why he said if it wasn't enough to
It's not saying
according
if
to
it
the
wasn't
house.
enough. If it was too much. Say you had the lamb at your house, and you got 12 kids, and I have 2 kids. So you're going to have to do 2 lambs maybe in order for each one of your family members to take part in that. But if you have too much, if it's too much for you and your 12 children, then you come next door to Otha and share the rest of it with Otha and his 2 kids.
No, get some from you to give to your children.
Because he said it was too little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, if it's not enough for you and your family, I have too much for my family.
That's what it is.
You come to me
Gotta share.
and I gotta share with you.
That's what
Okay.
it said.
Sharing, that's just.
A lot of people couldn't afford a lamb.
So they got to go, right?
Right. The goat is the lamb
Goat
and the
and lamb
goat
is all the
is the
same.
same. Mhm.
Okay. So my next question is about the cooking part. Now this is where Tommy got me at. So you don't get to cut the lamb open and clean him out and all of that. You just got to put him on that hole, take him and put him up there for 14 days, let the blood drip. Am I saying it right?
No.
Okay, so explain that to me then.
The way how I understand
Because he
it.
said 14 days. It said 14 days in there.
Correct. Yeah, he did. What I believe is what we used to do when we used to gonna kill a pig or a chicken, right? The chicken that we're gonna kill coming Sunday, Sunday dinner was supposed to be special. right? We take the chicken and separate the chicken from the rest.
Quarantine.
Just like the pig. We don't leave the pig in the sloppy pan.
But you don't kill him, you just segregate him.
Segregate them, and then you give them a different diet.
Clean 'em
That's
up.
why in the scripture it says, by the end of that 14 days, that animal should not have no spot, no blemish, and no spot.
Clean up.
Right? So you're supposed to clean the animal
Yes,
before you eat it.
that's right.
So that's what I believe it's saying, brother.
Oh, so he ain't saying kill the animal and then hang the animal up for 14 days and let all the blood drip. That's not what he's saying?
No.
Okay, then I had it back. Okay.
I didn't say that either.
So fatten him up for 14 days and then kill. I know you didn't tell me. I said I was just trying to get an understanding. So what are you doing, Pastor? So you saying that God told them to go and get that lamb, that first lamb, and go and segregate that lamb from the rest of them for 14 days before they kill him?
Yes, sir. That's what I believe
Okay.
it's saying.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, very good, very good. Okay, and we know that after he's killed, we roast him. We don't put him in a pot of water and boil him. We just roast him over an open flame.
Right.
Is that correct?
Like barbecue.
Barbecue. Okay. And we do all of his intros.
Oh, that's the part that gets me, Pastor, right there.
Don't go with the barbecue, but you're gonna put some special herbs and stuff in there.
Take all the
Don't go there. I know you.
Grill it
Did I
there.
use a little salt and pepper on it?
It didn't, no.
Didn't say that.
Wait just a minute. You gotta remember that this little lamb represents Jesus Christ.
Jesus, His purity.
Jesus is the perfect Lamb of God slain from the foundation of the world.
No impurities.
Okay.
So why you want to put some salt and pepper on it?
Okay, so it just be.
So it tastes better, huh?
Yeah, a little twang.
No, you ain't, listen, when he said take that with bitter herbs, I let you know it ain't no joyous occasion that you going to.
Yeah.
This is an awesome time.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you guys have,
Jesus, what He is
if I was roasting the lamb,
Huh?
if I was roasting the lamb, you guys would have to come over and
No,
look over my
we wouldn't
shoulder
come.
to make sure that I was doing it right.
Oh.
Yeah.
We telling you right now, don't do it. Don't do it.
Brother Jones,
Okay.
it's the same way you would do an animal if you're out in the wild. You don't have no salt and pepper. You don't have none of that stuff. So you just have to have some food.
So is the bitter herb supposed to help with the taste of the meat?
No, that's to remind them of the hard times.
Oh.
That's what it is all about.
Not to don't forget the bread. The bread is bad too. The bread,
Unleavened.
yeah, the bread is unleavened. No yeast. That means that sucker is hard as a rock.
Well, eat the bread when it's first made. It won't be so hard.
That's true.
It won't be so hard.
Amen.
Okay, we'll pick it up at verse 9 or verse 10. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remaineth, looks like to me, Sam, don't let any of it remain until the morning. But if it does remain until the morning, what are you supposed to do with it?
Burn it with fire.
All right. Okay. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. So we're supposed to dispose of it.
Right.
No leftovers, no nothing, just dispose of it.
Do you know what we did?
And thus shall ye eat it with your what?
Loins.
Loins?
Girded.
What is loins?
Your midsection.
Very good, Brother Tom. That's this area right here, right?
The Lord told me, I don't know about you.
Your underwear, everything, your clothes, everything's supposed to be on.
The loin would be that area on the left of your spine and on the right of your spine. That's your loin area, right here.
You're supposed to be dressed ready to run.
That's right.
Okay, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it slowly.
In haste.
In a hurry, look like to me.
Hey,
Haste. Haste is quickly.
I should eat it quickly. Okay, and it is the Lord's what?
Passover.
It is the Lord's Passover. So during this, and when is all of this taking place now? girding my loins, striking the doorposts, the blood
At night.
at night. That's our key word. When we first started, our
You said
memory
remember
word-
at night.
Very memory word was what?
Night.
Night. Okay,
On the 14th day of the first month.
Yep.
at night.
At night.
But that's the beginning of the day.
Okay.
Hello?
To some of us.
That's what the text said.
No, I'm going by what you
Exodus chapter
said.
12 and verse 8 says what? Tell me what it says.
What is what?
12 and verse 8.
Exodus chapter 12 verse 8. What does it say?
At night. That's what you're looking for, right, brother?
And they shall
They
eat
shall
the
eat
flesh
the flesh
in that
in
night.
that night.
That's what I'm looking for. Our memory word, our special word is night.
Okay, brother teacher.
Okay.
When God tells us the evening and the morning is a day, what does that mean?
The evening and the morning
Is
is
a
a
day.
day.
Which is night,
That comes
going back to your word,
Okay, all right.
and the morning is the ending of it. See, we live in the morning right now. We slept through the evening of it already, of this day.
We slept through the night part of it.
But you all call that Friday night, which is a lie.
This is Sabbath.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. Pick it up in Exodus chapter 12 and verse 12. For I will what?
Pass.
Through the land of Egypt this what?
Night.
And will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt, I will what?
Execute.
Execute judgment. I am the Lord. So we see that God does things at night. I mean, he not only does things in the daytime, but God is very active at night.
There's no difference between a day or night.
Excellent, Brother Tom. Excellent. I agree with you. There's no, actually, if it's darkness around us, we call it night. But with God, there is no darkness. Is that correct? It's
Well,
always light.
he lives in that darkness.
He's the light of the world.
Okay.
He dwells in darkness.
Okay. So if we call it night, God still sees through the night. He sees us just like he does when it's daylight to us.
Right.
There's no difference.
No.
Okay. All right. Pastor.
I have a question on chapter, verse 12 you just read.
Yeah.
He says he's going to smite both man and beast. Now the man here, is that just male? Or he's going to smite both male and female as long as they're firstborn?
Male and female.
Good question. I know it applies to males, but I don't know if it applies
It
to
can't.
female.
It cannot apply to what he don't apply to before. If this man has got to be a male, it's got to be offered up, then that's his expectation. So the firstborn of the preachers and the firstborn sons. You remember the firstborn son always was dedicated to the Lord. My sister's the firstborn in our family. There was no dedication for her because that was not one of God's requirements. See, we have to go by his requirements above what our thinking is for.
Amen. Amen.
That was an excellent question.
It is.
Question.
So Brother Thomas said the man here only applies to the male.
Only applies to the male.
In both animal and man.
You believe that, Pastor?
The male.
Okay.
So are we saying that it only applies to the male?
She's asking a question.
Go ahead.
Are we saying that it only applies to the male?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what this is.
That's what the scriptures say.
And I'll agree with that unless I have to read something different.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll go along with that unless I read something different.
So then if it's the male human firstborn, so it's also the male animals firstborn.
Yes.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I go along with that. Yes, I agree with that. Not the female. Female is not mentioned here.
Brother T,
Yes, sir.
when that actually occurred, it was an awesome time in Egypt because there was a whole host of boys and animals died because Passover has to deal with protection for his people only, those that are prepared to meet the requirement that he has made for them. Those other people don't know nothing about this because they don't believe in him. So they didn't make, so he's showing what he's able and capable of doing. Passing over one, destroying another. And
Okay, now that
they saw
brings
that.
about another question in the back of my mind.
Well, it's in the front of it now, Coach, bring it up.
Okay, that's right. Okay. Do you think any of the Egyptian natives there used the blood on the side posts and on the lintel?
I
And
believe,
God passed over them.
I believe, in the course of the mixed multitude per se, there was obedient in all nations.
All right. That's what came to my mind. too.
Well, that
That's
I
what
would
came.
believe that.
So anybody
Yes,
that struck the doorpost with the blood
in
of the
obedience, in
lamb
obedience.
and
Yes.
the
I
lintel,
believe.
God passed over them and didn't destroy them.
That's not, that can't be
Whether
true.
they were Egyptians, Israelites,
That can't be true.
Hittites, Hivites,
Sit there now.
all right.
Arthur doesn't agree with you, brother.
I just want to, when you just said, my brain is racing 100 miles a minute. Okay, you just said that anybody that sprinkled the blood over, that the death angel passed over them. But the Egyptians knew nothing about sprinkling the blood. They knew nothing about that. Per se, now, we're going to get away from the mixed multitude. We're just on the Egyptians. So the ones that didn't spread it by there, now we know there's other kids there, other boys that are not the firstborn. They didn't put no blood up there. It didn't kill them. Do you get what I'm saying?
Maybe I didn't hear it all.
Okay.
From the beginning.
When God said the ones that that sprinkled the blood, you know, on those three spots that he said that death would pass over them. Now we know that death was only on the firstborn males, as y'all said, man and beast.
Okay.
So all of the other Egyptians that didn't die, that weren't the firstborn, that didn't die, they didn't sprinkle no blood.
Well, blood was the saving of the firstborn. How can I put that? Now, as I understand this, if I have 6 sons, there's going to be a firstborn, he's going to be my oldest son.
Mm-hmm.
If I sprinkle the blood on the doorpost, the good Lord is going to spare my first son. He's going to spare the other 5 sons as well. But if I don't put the blood on the doorpost, he's going to take my first son. But he's still going to leave the 5. He's just going to take the firstborn. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense because it's only the firstborn that's taken.
Yeah, we're only interested here
In the firstborn, right? Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Everybody agree with that? I don't want to get myself out on a limb now.
You ain't on no limb, you on solid rock.
All right. Okay. Verse 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. Now, what is a memorial?
It's a celebration.
Special
And
occasion.
it's a memory of something
It's a
that you
memory.
do. Okay? So, because they go to the graveyard, they go on these stones and things.
Eric, that's what I was thinking about also. A tombstone can be a memorial.
Yes, because
Huh?
A tombstone can be a memorial.
It can be an idol too.
It's not can, it is.
Okay.
because you know, there's a commercial. Come on, there are 3 sisters, and they go to the cemetery, and they were talking to their mother, and they say, Mom, we wish you were here. You know, talking to we want to go to the dead, but they go as a memorial to their dead mother, and they were saying to her, after tell her a few more things, we wish you were here. But she said, I can't be there.
So we see that a memorial, like Sister Joyce said, and the pastor, it could be a tombstone, something that they put where they bury your remains, or my remains, where they will put a stone there, and that stone serves as a memorial. And when you pass by there, or whoever passed by there, and you see the stone, they say, oh, there's Brother Jones's spot. That's where he is. Brother Arthur, did I see you?
No, you see Michelle.
Oh, Michelle?
14.
14.
And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast day to the Lord throughout your generations. And my first question is pertaining to your generations. And then ye shall keep it a feast day of ordinance forever. Okay, your generations. My questions for that is that in your generations, does that generation stop, being that this is in the Old Testament? And my second question is, for an ordinance forever, is that forever a stop at the end of the Old Testament, or is forever forever?
That's a hard question. That's a hard question for me. But we will say this. I know what a memorial is. You know what a memorial is. An ordinance, can someone tell me what an ordinance is?
It's an agreement, I would say.
Yeah,
I could be
between two
wrong.
people.
Okay, that's not what I had in mind. Ordinance.
So what you had in mind?
Okay, right out here, on this street right out here, what's the name of this street?
Alondra?
Alondra. There's a working signal there, is that correct?
Yes,
Was.
it is.
It is.
It is.
Okay.
Okay.
The first, at the corner, the first 10 feet of that curve is what, red?
Yes.
And what does red mean?
Don't park.
Don't park there. That's a city ordinance.
So, ordinance is kind of like a command.
Ordinance is kind of like a command or kind of like a law.
It is.
You can't park you can't park on 18th Street on Thursday because the street sweeper comes by.
That's the law.
That's an ordinance. Now, the city puts those ordinances up. They can also take them down.
Right.
So an ordinance, when it's up, is in effect, it can be called a law. If you take it down, it's not in effect.
But it's not
There's no
taken down.
more ordinance.
But it's not taking it.
That's the way I see it. Pastor,
To answer Sister Michelle's question, her first question was the last question I deal with says forever. It's forever, forever. I think you just explained forever, right? When the city puts up the law, it's forever until the city takes it down. Then it's no longer forever. Jesus, in the Bible, one of the things we gotta
Now, can you
understand.
hear, Michelle?
Yes.
Okay.
One of the things we gotta understand about the Bible is Jesus says the Old Testament. He didn't say the Old Testament, but he said the Scripture is written of me. Right? So everything in the Bible in the Old Testament was pointing to Christ.
Amen.
So when that law was made and God says forever, it means forever until it supports what God has set it out for. And Jesus made that clear. Because all the other stuff that we talked about as in memorandum, in memory of, Jesus got rid of it. But when it comes to Passover, he tweaked it. And he said, this is what I want you to do. Right? Instead of killing a lamb and all that stuff, I want you to do it this way because I was that lamb that Passover was talking about. So as far as the forever, that covers that forever. And then the first question I believe you were saying is for this brethren, for this generation. That was in effect for that generation. But then when it came to Jesus, in fact, according to Scripture, they performed that until Jesus, while Jesus was on earth. Right? But Jesus changed that. Jesus says, I am that Passover lamb. So you don't need to celebrate the Passover lamb anymore because he is it. So, but what I want you to do is I want you to celebrate the Lord's table.
Amen.
As often as you do.
Exactly what that would
That's
mean.
it, right
As
there.
often as you do this.
That's it.
You kind of get a little bit of understanding, Michelle.
And I was to say.
I got some understanding of it.
I do. I want to hear what Brother Arthur back here got to say.
No.
What you mean, no?
Oh, no. Now, I listened to the pastor explain his, and that's not how I see it. And just let me explain to you the way I see it. The way that I see it is that when Jesus, the lamb part, the roasting of the lamb and all of that, no, I don't think we have to do that anymore. But the feast part, the 7 day of Holy Convocation that they got together doing this feast thing, I think that we should, that part of it, Jesus didn't get rid of. I don't think Jesus got rid of that part, because if he got rid of that part, they wouldn't have had the Last Supper. They wouldn't have had the supper. And I think those guys, they keep up with these feast days. And that's something we don't do now. I'll tell you what they will do now perfectly, the world. They got Easter, they got all these other days.
When you said we don't do it, do Orthodox Jews do it?
I'm not worried about them. I don't know about the Orthodox Jew people. I don't know about them. To me, those are not the real Jews. Those are just some people just copying other folks or want to be like somebody. That's to me. It may not be to everybody else, but that's just to me.
Okay, I understand.
Okay? But we keep those other days, Christmas and all of that kind of stuff. You know, they keep that forever. And when he tells you to keep something forever here, everybody's got a loophole, and they throw a loophole in there and say, oh, we don't have to do this no more because Jesus came and did this. I think that's to me, I just think those are excuses that people don't want to do it.
Okay. Oh, you please, I saw your hand.
You know what, teacher, some of these things we read about, some of them are abolished because Jesus fulfilled them. And all this lamb and all this thing was pointing to Jesus. He's our Passover. So why if he's our Passover, why do we keep on? We don't take a lamb. We don't want to take a lamb. We don't take a dove. Because Jesus fulfilled all those ceremonial. So Jesus is it. We don't have to take no lamb. We don't have to have no Passover feast and stuff. It's pointed to, but when Jesus came, he fulfilled. Some of these things are abolished because they were just ceremonial, but most of them are the real being with Jesus. And we better learn to be with Jesus, because Jesus said, all we read about is about him. From Genesis to Revelation is about him. And he said he came not to destroy, but to fulfill.
Michelle.
So, throughout your generations, does that generation end? This particular generation that they're speaking of between here and the New Testament, and maybe I'm just thinking too much into it.
If I'm not mistaken, there's an S on that generation.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It don't stop. It goes from
Yeah.
generation to generation.
To me, it keeps going. But did that bloodline end of that generation? And maybe Pastor can elaborate more on that.
Okay, Pastor, you got any comment on that?
Sure. Sister Michelle gave us a keyword. Reminds me of your keyword, night. Michelle's keyword was bloodline. When it comes to our relationship with God, God does not count bloodline. Right? That's the mistake the Jews today makes. Because remember what the promise he made to Abraham?
Yeah, all
He
nations.
says all families will be blessed through him.
Yeah.
So you may think that you come from Bostonian blue blood folks and think that you're it. With God don't count that. And the good news about that is we all have the same blood. Isn't it?
Amen.
We have all one blood. That's why I cannot buy. When I hear things, you have A type blood and B type blood. You know, there are some things we have to not let the world put in our mentality, because God does not say that. If we say we are made with all of us, every human being is made with one blood, because the life is in the blood. Alright? And you're going to tell me, your blood is black blood. A white man said years ago, if you have 1/4 inch of black blood, you're black. white blood.
It's all red.
Got a drop of black blood in you, you're black.
You're like
Just one drop.
The one drop rule, huh?
One drop.
I think Michelle's question is, your question is, are we supposed to be doing this today?
That's right.
Is that your question, Michelle?
Well, I guess kind of, sort of. To me, I feel like, yes, we should, not the lamb part, but the gathering and things
That's what
like
I
that.
like to do, the eating.
But,
That's what I'm talking about. the eating
yeah,
part.
just to, elaborate more on those key words, because I
That's
just
it,
think
baby.
society today, like we all say, they take away from, forever is forever. Forever doesn't stop unless there is a change somewhere in there specifically stating that change. Otherwise, if it said forever, then it's forever. And generation with an S means it keeps going. It doesn't stop. And to me, the only way that could stop is if, which I don't think that it happened, that God wiped out. But even if he did wipe out and start over, it's still through him. I'm just kind of going off of the...
I got a question for Michelle, if I may, brother teacher.
All right.
A quick question. Sister Michelle says, I'm sorry, she says, I believe that this should continue on, except for the meat part. So my question, Sister Michelle, is why not the meat part? If you think the whole thing, what changed for you to take the meat part out in your mindset?
the way that they kill the lamb.
Why change that? You said it's for generations, so why not keep everything?
Because if he said you don't, then why should you? You can't do what you wanted. The world does, but
Right.
you can't do what you want to do, which is what the majority of society does, is that they pick and choose what they want to and don't want to, and then we try to justify it with other things. To me, is when it comes to that.
Okay, so you're saying possibly, I'm just talking hypothetically as I hear you, possibly do away with the slaughter of the lamb and the blood and the roasting, but keep the day a feast day or something like that.
If that's what he said,
Okay.
and he is our Father with a capital H.
Or do you think that he is saying, keep the feast day, but don't keep the feast lamb,
I think he's saying keep the feast day.
but not the lamb? Not the
Yeah.
lamb part.
Yes.
From Memorial, he was the lamb.
But
Can I-
even though the lamb is a part of the feast day or feast night,
But he's the lamb.
you think that he's saying, don't keep the lamb, but keep the celebration of the Passover without the lamb? It's a little bit confusing.
It is, but the lamb represents Jesus.
The lamb, right?
If you're going to keep the feast day without Jesus, it's not a feast. Because he fulfilled what we really hear. Okay?
Yeah, that makes sense. I like what you
They
say.
don't bring no lamb anymore. Jesus said, I'm the fulfillment, I'm the Passover lamb. I am Jesus. Okay? So if you want to have a feast, feast on me.
Okay. Brother Tom. Hold it on.
Sister Michelle heard the pastor make a statement a few minutes ago, but she didn't let it dwell in her mind long enough. As often as you take this unleavened bread and this grape juice, you do show forth something to Jesus. And that's why the continuance forever and ever, because there are sometimes that you see ever, then you see ever and ever. Now that ever and ever is more important than just ever. And he explained that ever, but he didn't get to the ever and ever a minute ago. But she was listening to comprehend that way. But I think she should go back and listen to what Jesus said as often, because we'll be taking the Passover sometime pretty soon, because some of the churches today will take every Sunday.
And the first Sunday time.
Every fifth Sunday.
First Sunday.
Now I said, some churches take every.
Oh, I ain't never been to one.
I know y'all don't, because y'all don't go to all of them.
Like you. We don't do
But
that.
I'm saying,
I hear you.
what Jesus said is what's important. And when he said, as often as you do this, you do it in remembrance of me. This ain't got nothing to do with a sheep or a goat. Jesus is the lamb slain from the foundation of the world. So that's the only lamb that we need to consider.
Jesus said he is our Father.
All this other roasted stuff and eating the cuteness and stuff, Jesus gave you the night that they were in the upper room. They celebrated the table. And he blessed it. And it is to go on and on.
That's the bread and the wine.
Yes, sir. It's to go on and on and on. We don't need to go back. We need to go forward.
Remember what John the Baptist said when he saw Jesus at the River Jordan?
Behold, the Lamb of God, slain from the foundation of the world. That's who Jesus is.
Okay. Brother Otha.
Well, Jesus gave us the other way to do the celebration. If you remember when they went and had the Passover, Jesus was the lamb at the Passover when they went and had it. They didn't go and kill no lamb, put it out on the table, do all of that. The lamb was already there with him. So they didn't have to go kill one, just like it is now. He's here now. The only thing we're going to do is take up the bread and the blood. Now, what I like about what Jesus said here, Jesus never drank, and I just got this last night when I was reading it, I was telling Michelle. I thought Jesus participated in the drinking and of the wine with them at the Passover, and he did not. He said that he would not take a drink until they got into the new kingdom, and then he would take a drink and celebrate with them, with all of us, but only in the new kingdom would he do that. I didn't understand that until last night, until I read it over again, that he never took a drink
What's
at
to
Passover.
understand about that?
Well, everybody say Jesus drank.
They call him a wine.
They'll tell you Jesus drank wine, but Jesus says here in in Matthew chapter 26, verse 29, he says, "But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom."
Okay. All right. So you're saying those that called him a wine bibber.
Well, people that say that Jesus drank that night at the party look like to me Jesus ain't take no drink. I mean, that's what I did. That's what I got out of it.
So those that called him a wine bibber, they were just blowing steam then, right?
I think so. I mean, maybe I got to read a little bit more, but to me, he ain't drank that.
That's an interesting subject.
You got 3 minutes, brother.
Okay. All right. Well, I had quite a bit of lesson here. I'd rather hear your comments and things that you have to say. Who led the people of Israel out of Egypt?
Moses.
Yeah. Who led them out of Egypt?
God did.
God led him out. The angel of God.
That is the answer, too.
And who did God use to do
The
that?
angel of God. The angel.
Moses and Aaron.
Moses and Aaron.
They were the humans.
They were humans,
That pillar of fire, there was fire, and
but the Holy Ghost led him out.
that was him.
Jesus led him out.
How many heads of state, no, maybe that's not the correct word. How many heads of tribes were present in Egypt at the time Moses led the Egyptians, led Israel out of Egypt?
If there was 12 tribes, that would be 12 heads.
Okay. Now, the other night when I was going over the lesson, there was somebody else named. We got the 12 boys, but Jacob had a daughter as well, didn't he?
Diana.
Dinah.
Dinah.
Diana, whatever.
Okay, do you think she was there? Do you think her family was represented there in Egypt? There's some things said about Dinah, but not a lot of things said about Dinah. So it just builds up my curiosity as to was her family line there in Egypt? That's just a question that I'm asking.
Her family line cannot be counted, because when she goes into her marriage, she goes to the line of the man. God counts the man. That's the reason why the 12 tribes was the men.
Okay, all right.
But they had
So
all
once
wives.
Dinah got married,
She went
she
to
was no
another
longer
line.
in the bloodline of Jacob to get the blessing that
Right.
Jacob passed down to the sons.
So she went to another line.
So she wasn't eligible for Jacob's
Oh,
blessing.
I'm not gonna say that, but I'm
She
just
got
saying
some.
what I'm saying.
She got some, but she didn't get the inheritance that the
The
brothers
brothers
got.
got.
So the boys got the inheritance of the land, different sections of the physical
That was from
land.
God, not from
But
Jacob.
Dinah didn't get any of the, she didn't get any of the land.
That was from God, brother teacher.
Okay,
Get it, Tommy.
all right. Okay, well anyway,
That's
the
God.
12 sons,
Yeah.
the 12 sons that Jacob had were Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and incidentally, Moses came from the line of Levi, and Aaron also.
Naturally.
Brothers.
Miriam too.
Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun,
Somebody knock on that door.
Don't,
I took them.
Go ahead.
Joseph,
Go to
Benjamin. That's 12. And if you include Dinah, that's 13 children.
Oh, yes.
13 children that Jacob had.
I almost.
Time was up, bro.
And it's up 5%.
Okay. Well, actually, I had a lot more that I think would have been interesting for all of us. But time is running. So can we all stand, please? And Sister Jeanette, can you say a short prayer for us, please?
Gracious Father, Son, and God,